Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It's 4:33 p.m., March 29, 2024. And well, it's Friday. It's Friday already. Isn't it amazing? Anyway, well, when I got into bed last night, I mean, I have to tell you, I sleep with a sleeping bag. I have like 5 layers on me. It's just ridiculous. I'm not going to go into everything, but I have a sleeping bag because it gets cold here. I do not have heat turned on overnight in my bedroom. So I get into the sleeping bag, right? And I go to pull the zipper up on the side. And lo and behold, the criminals stole the zipper pull. It was gone. Not the first time, but it's the first time on the sleeping bag. They've stolen entire zippers from brand new coats, zipper pulls from new sweatshirts, hoodies and stuff. And they made it to the point where they will cut it so that you can't reinstall another zipper pull. So that is just another stupid perp trick. It's not funny. It's immature. It's a psychological operation. It's sneaky. So let's see. I've got some other topics to discuss, but before I do, please hit the thumbs up. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, exposing one criminal at a time. I moved from Manalapan, New Jersey, and a home I lived in for 30 years as original owner. I became targeted there. Yes, targeted. Obviously, I pissed off the wrong narcissist, or many. I mean, I don't know how I could possibly do something like that, but I guess it's easy to do since there's so many of them, So, please hit the thumbs up. I want to talk about a channel that was recommended to me, and it's called Stuart McIntosh. He's right here on YouTube. I can stick the channel down below when I upload this video. But he talks about Freemasonry, the Masons and stuff. Not that he's one of them. He's not one of them. He talks about how it's related to gang stalking, how deceptive they are, their tactics, etc., etc., etc. So you might want to check him out. I woke up this morning and the camera in my bedroom was disconnected. No doubt it's because somebody must have been in my house. The only reason they would want to disconnect that camera, because all the other cameras that face the same direction, it's probably because they didn't want the camera to pick up sound and broadcast and publish the sound that would have been happening in my bedroom when they turned my watch back. Yeah, when I woke up this morning, it was just before 8 a.m. I noticed my camera was disconnected. I noticed my watch said 4:29 or 4:25 or something. It wasn't 4:25. And thank you also for the subscribers that say that this happens to you also. Another thing they did, we're going on number 5. I guess we could bat 100 at this point. My water catchment barrel, the 55-gallon one that they dumped, that was full. It was full to the top. It probably had more than 55 gallons in it. They dumped it. Then it filled up about maybe a quarter. They dumped that. And then we had this torrential rain. And I should have at least a quarter of a tank there. 0. Nothing. They dumped it again 5 times. Now, I have a feral cat. I named her China. I named her China because she was like, I akin her to like a porcelain doll. She was so sweet. When I rescued her in Manalapan, New Jersey, the Pinebrook Care Center. And she had a couple of litters of kittens. And the last bunch of kittens, I rescued her and the kittens. The only way that I could rescue her, because she was so challenging, was to hold her kittens hostage in another trap while trying to trap her. I could not trap her for literally years. And I was finally able to get her, socialize her into my house, bring her to Kentucky, socialize her, she's in the house, but then the weather gets nice and she wants to go outside with her buddies and stuff, and she's been outside ever since. Although every once in a while I'll get her back in the house. I noticed within the last month she has been deteriorating. It sort of happened overnight. She went from being very frisky and vibrant and healthy looking to her eyes running, her nose running, not being able to catch her, being a little bit more lethargic, very hungry and thirsty, just like all the other cats that were tortured here, except that this one lived outside. I've been trying for the better part of a week and a half to trap her and get her back into the house, into the cat's building. I finally did today. She was in bad shape. Bring her in. She's, breathing heavily. I wash her face, her ears. Then there is a loud bang to the metal roof, and she friggin' dies. Her heartbeat disappeared immediately after the bang to the metal roof. She is dead. She's gone. So I'm going to talk about something else. And it broke my heart. I don't even want to talk about it. She, just quickly, she was the lifetime partner of Cinnamon, the alpha male feral cat in my feral cat colony in New Jersey that I rescued, rehabilitated, brought into my house, socialized. Cinnamon was the one that I socialized, not into... First, he would never allow me to pet him, brush him, comb him, clean his ears, cut his nails, and he would dance with me. That's the cat that they murdered December 10, 2018, before they wanted to discredit me with Tina Booth and the Manalapan Thin Blue Line cult of police officers. So China was devastated after he left us. They were partners. They were always sleeping together, always walking together. And I have to say that she was the kind of cat, she was always a wife. I mean, this could sound weird, but she was always a wife. There's some cats that have no interest in hanging out with the guy cats. They're independent or whatever, but not China. She was a wife. She was always hanging around with her best guy. And after Cinnamon died, she picked up with Prince. I named him Prince. Prince was not my original feral cat. He was adopted into my colony feral cat. I'm not going to go too much into this now, because I have a lot more to say on it at another time. But Alley Cat Allies, the National Feral Cat Nonprofit, TNR Advocate, had TNR, Trap, Neutered, Return, a whole bunch of cats. I don't remember the number. It was a long time ago. But they ended up not getting permission to return the cats to the original place that they trapped them, which was, I think, some kind of a business. I don't remember exactly, because it wasn't in my location. It was not in New Jersey. It was somewhere else. So they trapped all these cats, got them spayed and neutered and vaccinated and all that stuff. They were not permitted to return them to where they trapped them all. So they were looking for people to take in some of these feral cats. So I did. I took in 9. I don't know how many they had. After I took in 9, they asked me if I would take in, 3 more. I said no. No. And I'm glad I didn't, because the cost for maintaining them over time was on my shoulders. So it wasn't that, you know, I was taking them in and getting a benefit, a financial benefit, or even a mention for taking in these cats. No, that didn't happen. So I took in these 9 cats, and one of them I named Prince. I don't know, I got these names. There was another one that I named Taylor Swift, because literally this cat's face looked just like Taylor Swift. And after I named her, after I named some of these cats, they magically turned up dead in my cat colony. Yeah. Again, it's a story for another time. There was nothing wrong with Taylor Swift. She was a young, beautiful cat. She turned up dead. I go over there one day, looking all over for her, can't find her. And then the next day, cats just suddenly don't die. So anyway, Prince was one of those cats. And then, of course, I trapped him. When I knew I was going to move, I wanted to trap all of my cats and bring them into my house, socialize them, knowing that my house was going on the market and I was going to take every last one of my outside feral cats with me. So Prince came in, he got socialized and stuff. He always had eye problems. He still does. Always had like an eye infection. It would get better, would get worse, would get better, get worse, because he likely was born with an autoimmune issue. You know, when they're born like that, they're just more susceptible to it over time. So China picked up with him. She needed to be somebody's cat wife. And they were inseparable. There's an inseparable here. But I noticed in the last like 3 weeks, she did not want to sleep in the cat house with him as much. It could be because somebody dumped a black cat here who's been sleeping in there and growing. And it's difficult for 3 cats to sleep in that cat house. So she started sleeping alone in another cat building, another cat house. And she was always coming to my porch to eat, and she just looked really bad. Just so bad. Just getting worse and worse and worse. But not to belabor it, she passed away this morning. But it was too much of a coincidence that I finally got her into a warm building, cleaning her up. A loud bang to the roof, and her heart stops beating. So people wonder, why can't I catch these people on my property? Well, first of all, we're not talking about 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, where I had a half an acre of land and about 20 cameras all over my property. Or a 6-foot fence surrounding my property. We're not talking about that situation. We're talking about wooded lands. Lands with multiple little buildings to hide behind. Cloaking devices, invisibility cloaking devices exist. The technology is so advanced. But it's been around forever. It's been around for a very long time. You can wear clothing to refract the light so that you blend into your environment. The only thing that gives them away is that they do appear in the infrared camera light, and you can hear them crunching in leaves. You can hear them, even though they are stealth. They also have the technology, and for those of you who are in the unfortunate victims of remote neural monitoring, where they can see what you see, the technology is so advanced that they can manipulate your visual cortex on demand. Sort of like they did with me a couple of years ago, where my little cat Mini-Me, she was little Mini-Me Cinnamon. I brought her in for the cat building because she'd not been in my house before, and I figured, okay, She's so good. I'm going to let her just sit on my porch. And that's what she was doing. Suddenly, I get this weird feeling over me. Almost like I'm high. Like I'm not totally alert. It just came over me. I walk out to the porch, totally disoriented, and she's gone. She is nowhere to be seen. Nowhere. Now, this is a cat that would never walk away. Never. She's the kind of cat, she's so friendly, you could pick her up. Evidently, somebody knew that who's been surveilling me. And between their cloaking device, their witchcraft, and altering my visual cortex for me to not be able to see them, on a porch with a camera on the porch, stole her, never saw her again. But 3 weeks later, they leave, again, three bags of cat litter and cat poop on my driveway in front of my mailbox to let me know that, yes, indeed, they did steal my cat. And she was one of the daughters of China who died this morning. So, I'm going to read you an article. It's published February 19, 2021. It's called, the website is Interesting Engineering. It's innovation section. Invisibility cloaks are no longer just science fiction. Researchers have already created different iterations of cloaking technology, and we're here for it. Well, it's been here for a long time. Cloaking technology, or invisibility, has been highly coveted superpower in the realms of science fiction and fantasy. Aliens from distant galaxies, powerful wizards, and humble hobbits have used the ability to be invisible in some form or another. Well, it looks like we could actually get our hands on the invisibility cloak in the near future. Scientists and private companies are already working on the technology. However, the path to creating the magic of cloaking technology is not as straightforward as you might think. That is a crock of BS, okay? It's been here for a long time. They have been studying camouflage techniques of animals and wildlife and ocean life that inherently have the ability to camouflage themselves. They have been torturing those animals in the lab, scientists, to figure out how they make themselves invisible so that they could use the same technology. The technology is far from perfect. In fact, not only is it difficult to create, there are many different ways to make something invisible. Finding the most viable and useful option is tricky, however. Do not lose hope. Some research and prototypes out there could actually bring an invisibility cloak to market sooner than you think. Well, this is just so much propaganda. It has been here for decades, okay? It's here. It's just improving. It's just improving. It says that scientists are trying to create technology that would let you disappear in an instant. A true cloaking device would need to find a way to bend the light around a person or object from all directions. Yet, one of the ways scientists have created cloaking technology is relatively simple. They've used cameras to record and project images of what's behind an object onto the object's surface, making it appear as if it's not even there. In the early 2000s, a team of researchers from the University of Tokyo created an optical camouflage system that makes anyone wearing a unique reflective material seem to disappear. Multiple versions of the technology have appeared since then, with each rendition getting more advanced. A similar, albeit fictional, version of the technologies was used in Mission Impossible's Ghost Protocol. And you know, Harry Potter has an invisibility cloak. They do. And then in 2006, a group of scientists from Duke University used metamaterials to create a simplified cloaking device to hide objects from microwaves. You hear that? Hide objects from microwaves. While it could not hide things from human view, it was an important first step in creating real-life invisibility cloak. And 10 years later, the Duke researchers developed a 7-layer metamaterial cloak that could shield a small object from electromagnetic waves all the way from the infrared to the radio portions of the spectrum. Well, hey guys, I think targeted people need to get our hands on this cloaking device, this simplified cloaking device that blocks microwaves. It's a 7-layer metamaterial cloak. Shields from electromagnetic waves all the way from the infrared to the radio portions of the spectrum. Then there's the hyper-stealth cloaking technology that could hide people, weapons, and buildings, like entire buildings. Some of the most practical invisibility technologies come from the minds over at the Hyper Stealth Biotechnology Corporation. The Canadian camouflage company made headlines after unveiling its own iteration of invisibility technology. It is dubbed quantum stealth. The patented prototype material is being developed primarily for the military. The quantum stealth could be used to hide military personnel and equipment like tanks and jets in combat. Oh, how about those helicopters above my house? However, that's just the beginning. The invisibility cloak can not only hide or distort objects from onlookers, but it can conceal these objects from infrared and ultraviolet imagers. This is all possible thanks to what is called lenticular lens. Lenticular lens. A lenticular lens is a corrugated sheet in which each ridge is made up of an outward curving lens. You might come across lenticular lenses on some of your old holographic Pokemon and baseball cards. In a lenticular lens, rows of cylindrical lenses refract light according to the viewing angle. Quantum Stealth found a way to arrange layers of lenticular lenses to create dead spots at certain distances behind the material. When viewed from the front, the object behind the material is not visible, but the background is. This creates the illusion of invisibility. The company's prototype material is as thin as paper, cheap to produce, and requires no power source. The cloak might not offer complete invisibility, however. It still distorts and hides objects well enough that it's very difficult to discern the details of the object, and we still have ways to go before creating our own invisibility cloak. But the technology is the technological possibility is there. The biggest challenge facing the development of a practical cloaking device is the ability to cloak a wide range of wavelengths. But if this could be overcome, a cloaking device would not only have military applications, but the research into cloaking technology could help us develop better LiDAR technologies and even solar panels. According to Hyperstealth CEO Guy Kramer, the materials used to create invisibility technology could triple the solar panel's energy output due to its large reflective surface area. Do you think we will ever create invisibility technology? Question mark. They really did write that question. Okay. So anyway, let me see what else I had to say to you guys. Oh yes, I can't actually say this, but I can show it to you. And I got this from the herb guy on TikTok. He also has an eBay store because I've purchased from him before. I think his YouTube channel and website is called Where Science Meets Nature, or he's the herb guy on TikTok. He devised this for you guys. I hope you could read that. It's where science meets nature, or the herb guy. The herb guy. Herb guy. And actually this, cilantro, you can actually grow this. You can grow this from seed. You can grow that from seed. Well, that's another story. Got to be careful with that stuff there. But this here... there. Okay, let me see if there's something else that I wrote down here. The invisibility suits, the detection, the YouTube channel. I think that is it for now. The weather is beautiful here. Oh yeah, just one more thing. You know, the big mouth neighbor. Well, I'm like cleaning out my chicken coop. And I'm walking back and forth, and then suddenly she drives onto the county road and parks, stops. I guarantee she's photographing. Guarantee she's back to the stupid perp tricks. Springtime is here. They're all coming out. They want their gift cards. But I look forward to your questions and comments. Please hit the thumbs up. Again, it's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I hope you're having a great day today. And I will talk to you soon.